All right, so know the method signature for the main method. This method signature, you kind of need to have it just burned into your brain so you can just type it directly. Luckily, the IDE supplies it for you most of the time. This is typically the signature. A method signature is just the layout of the method. Usually the main method is public, static, void, main, and then string with a set of brackets, square brackets, and then args. Every Java program, somewhere in the program, has that as its starting point. So every Java program you're ever going to run has a main method, and that's what it looks like. So you need to memorize this signature: public, static, void, main, string, args. When Java first came out a long time ago, I was at that conference, and there was people who were walking around that had that on their t-shirts. Know which data types store integers, whole numbers, and which store real numbers, numbers that have digits to the right of the decimal point. In our square class, we have the instance variables right here at the bottom. Those are ints, but you can also have data types that have decimal points on them. So you could say private, you'd say double. That's called a double precision floating point number. What could we say about maybe it's the area. So the area might be a floating point number, whereas the width and the height, maybe we're using pixels, so you wouldn't use fractional pixels that way. Other data types that store real numbers, there's one called float. Okay. So float is another real number. So these will be for real numbers. If you're talking about whole numbers, your data types are long, int, we've seen already. I think they're short. Yeah, short is another data type. There's even a byte. So whole number data types are here. They're just different sizes. They have different ranges. Floating point numbers are here, or real numbers, UGCs. Number 3, know the values that can be stored in a Boolean variable. Boolean we haven't really talked too much about. Boolean variables are typically, they can have values of either true or false. If you've taken my computer hardware class, we talk about Booleans a lot. Know the Java keyword for indicating that a value is constant and cannot be changed. Now with constants, you typically capitalize everything and separate words with an underscore. The word I'm looking for is right here where it says final. That means this number over here is constant. It's never going to change in the running of your program. Line width is never going to change. So final is the keyword I was looking for there. Number 5, know which symbol in Java is the assignment operator. Well, that's easy enough. The assignment operator is here. It's a single equal sign. You're taking the thing on the right and assigning that value to the thing on the left. So the equal sign is the assignment operator. Know that Java supports both unary and binary operators. Be careful when you say unary. I was at a conference once and a guy said urinary. I don't think that's what he meant. But unary and binary operators. Here's a binary operator. It has 2 operands. Or you have the number and you divide it by another number. So this is an operand, this is an operator, this is an operand. Because there's 2 operands, that makes it a binary operator. But say you want to put the new square in a negative location, you can just put a negative sign there. That's a unary operator, only requires 1 operand. Other unary operators, that's a unary operator. Plus plus is an operator, requires only 1 operand. So unary meaning 1, binary meaning 2 operands. Know which symbol is used for the modulus operator. Well, in Java for mod, say if you want to see if the width of the object is even, and you want to return true or false, whether or not it's even or not, you would say return width. The mod operator is the percent sign, 2. So you're saying here, You take the width, say the width is 5. You divide it by 2, and instead of it telling you how many times 2 goes into 5, it tells you the remainder. So if you have a width of 5, you divide it by 2, you get a remainder of 1. Is 1 equal to 0? No. So that would tell you that the width is not even, it's actually odd. Okay. But again, the symbol for the modulus operator is percent sign. It's a type of division, but it doesn't return you the quotient, it returns you the remainder. Know that you must use math.pow to raise a number by an exponent. So say we wanted to triple the size of our rectangle, or our square, I guess. So we have this one called smaller, make smaller. Perhaps we create another one. We'll call it make larger. And say we want to double the size, or we want to, we say width equals math.pow, and then you'd pass in perhaps width for the base, and then 2 for the exponent. It sees that we're storing that into the width, so we'd have to cast it. But the idea here is to raise something to a power, you have to use the math class and use the .pow method. So math.pow. Know the order of operations for arithmetic operators. Okay, so what would that be? Let me just add some comments here then. First thing that gets done is multiplication, division, and modulus. Those all happen first before you do plus and minus. So if you have an equation like this, x plus y times 3 equals z. Say you had something like that, or actually we put it on the other side. What would it do first? Would it do the x plus y first and then multiply times 3? And the answer is no. It actually do this first. It was as if you put parentheses like that, because multiplication is a higher precedence than. So in math class, I think they call it order of operations. Just realize that these happen before that. Now if they're at the same level, these will go from left to right. Number 10, know when Java casts a less precise data type to a more precise data type behind the scenes. Here we're going the other way. Here we have a more precise. This returns a double. And width is an int. So what we had to do is we forced it into an int by using this cast operator. So what this does is it truncates anything to the right of the decimal point and makes it an integer or a whole number. But what if you want to go the other way? Here you would say maybe area, which is a double, I think. And we could say width times height. Well, width is an integer, right? Height is an integer. We multiply those together, we get an integer. But area is a double, so it doesn't complain, because this is a less precise data type and this is more precise. So that's going to not cause any problems. However, if we did it the other way around, say we swapped area with width and try to do it this way, now it's going to complain because it'll see that area is a double and width is an integer, and you're going to lose information because this is more precise and this is less precise. So you have to, if you really wanted to do this, you do what we did up here, is you force it to be an int, and then it's happy. Number 11, know that the string data type is not a primitive data type. String is an object. So what's a fundamental data type or a primitive? the ones we've talked about here at the bottom. Double, float, long, short, byte, int, boolean. Those are all fundamental data types or primitives. String is not one of those. String is actually a class. Number 12, know that instantiation is the process of creating a specific object of a class. So that's the same as construction. So here, instantiation is this. You're calling the constructor. You're creating an instance of this class. You're creating an object of this class. So instantiation is the process of creating a new object. Number 13, know how the empty string is represented in Java. The way you specify the empty string is you just put a pair of double quotes. That's one way to do it. The string exists, it just doesn't have any characters in it. That's called the empty string. Number 14, know the purpose of escape sequences, escape characters in Java. Well, we know that when we were doing our Mad Libs, say we want to embed a new line in our text. We can't really do it in here. If we hit enter, then the compiler's going to get all confused. What we'd like to do is just embed a new line here. The way to do that is use an escape sequence \n. And then when this prints out on the screen, it's going to do the first line, and then it's going to print this next half on the next line. So this here is called an escape sequence. An escape sequence always starts with the \, and then it has a special character that tells you, well, n is new line, t is tab. If you actually want a \, you put another \. If you want a single quote or a double quote, you do that. So there's a lot of escape sequences. The one you use most often is \n. Number 15, know the string concatenation operator. Well, the concatenation operator would concatenate means to take two strings and paste them together. So this would paste on the second line onto the first line. Concatenation operator is a +. Number 16, know how to convert a string data type into a double data type. It's a little bit hard. Say we have a string here, and we want to convert it into a double. Say our string is 25.7. That's not the number 25.7, it's the letters, I guess, 25.7. How do we convert that into a double? We would say capital double dot parse double, and we would pass in our string, and that will create, or that will convert this from the symbols 25.7 to the number 25.7. Okay. So the key here is this. There's also one for integer if you're trying to get to an integer. But that's how you do the conversion. Know the different types of wrapper classes. Well, double is one of them. Other types of wrapper classes are integer, and there's one for each data type. Here's all the things you can do with the integer data type. But these are called wrapper classes because they wrap around the fundamental data types. So that's everything on chapter 4.